My name is Albert Einstein. Many know me as a physicist, a man of equations, of theories that bent the nature of space and time. But I want to speak now, not as a scientist, but as a human being. One who spent a lifetime peering into the clockwork of the universe and found, at its core, not cold machinery, but wonder. I have thought much about life, but more quietly, I have thought about death. Not because I feared it, I didn't, but because the moment we understand what death truly is, we begin, perhaps for the first time, to understand what life actually means. People often ask, "Do you believe in life after death?" And for many years, I gave no answer. I believed such things were beyond science. But now, older, softer, and more honest with myself, I will say this. I do not believe in death as annihilation. I believe in transformation. Let me explain. Physics teaches us that energy cannot be destroyed. It changes form. The same light that warms your skin was once inside a star. The same atoms in your hand have lived in other bodies, other worlds. Why then should we assume that consciousness, the deepest, most mysterious form of energy, simply vanishes when the body ceases? I do not think the self ends. I think it unfolds. Time, too, is not what we thought. It is not a straight line. The past, present, and future are not isolated. They are part of a greater whole. In the universe I studied, everything is connected. Every action ripples outward. Every thought, yes, even thoughts, has its own gravity. Perhaps, when we die, we do not disappear. Perhaps we simply step out of linear time and into the eternal. Perhaps we become something the equations cannot yet describe. The soul, some may call it that. Others may say field, pattern, information. I no longer care what word is used. What matters is that it exists, and I have felt it, not in a laboratory, but in music, in the silence between notes, in the love I saw in another's eyes, in the way truth echoes across cultures, across centuries. These are not things explained by neurons and matter alone. These are fingerprints of something eternal. And when people say, "But I cannot see it," I remind them, you do not see gravity. You do not see time. You do not see the wind, but you feel their presence. So too with the soul. I believe there is a unifying principle beneath all things, a field of intelligence, beauty, and order. Some call it God. Others, the universe. I call it light, because light does not just illuminate, it reveals. When we die, I believe we return to that light, not as individuals with names and passports, but as essence, as memory, as resonance. Have you ever felt the presence of someone long gone? Not just remembered them, but truly felt them near you. That is not imagination. That is resonance. Two energies, once entangled, do not simply forget each other. Love is not bound by time. Consciousness is not confined to the skull. Life is not limited to flesh. What we are is far more than what we seem. And so I say this to you, not as a man of science, but as a fellow traveler. Do not fear death. Fear a life unlived. Fear a heart unopened. Fear silence where there should be truth. But do not fear the end. because the end is not the end. It is simply another form of beginning. We are waves. When the wave collapses, the ocean remains. Some think that science and spirituality must always be at odds, that to believe in particles is to deny the soul. But I have never seen this conflict. In fact, I find that the deeper we explore the laws of nature, the more we are drawn toward questions once reserved for mystics. Why is the universe intelligible? Why are the laws not chaotic, but elegant? Why does beauty appear in the formulas of physics, in the symmetry of nature, in the geometry of galaxies? This is not accidental. There is a harmony embedded in existence, a music beneath the matter. And we, fragile, temporary beings, somehow hear it. That alone should tell you something. When I derived the equations of relativity, I did not feel as though I was inventing them. I felt I was discovering something that had always existed. I felt, as Kepler once wrote, that I was thinking God's thoughts after him. This is not religion in the dogmatic sense. It is reverence. Reverence for the mystery that gave rise to this astonishing thing we call reality. And that same mystery, I believe, does not abandon us when our hearts stop beating. I have seen too much, thought too deeply, to believe that death is a deletion. Rather, I see it as compression, like light folding into a singularity, a moment of infinite density, where everything we are, everything we've done collapses into essence, and from that point, perhaps, a new expansion begins. People imagine heaven as a place, but perhaps it is a state, a field, where our frequency is fully coherent, no longer distorted by fear or ego. Perhaps heaven is what happens when the soul becomes fully resonant with truth. Hell, then, would be dissonance, a soul out of tune, not a place of fire, but a state of forgetting what we are. But even that state, I believe, is not permanent. Just as all matter seeks balance, all spirit seeks return. You see, the most powerful force I've ever encountered is not gravity, nor electromagnetism. It is forgiveness. Forgiveness restores broken symmetry. Forgiveness collapses time. Forgiveness allows even the most wounded energy to begin again.